Hey, boxing fans around the world, thank you for joining us once again on Talk and Fight for another episode featuring Christian from the Friday night panel. As we discuss boxing with only 10 days to go before the Olympics, what have you found out today, Christian?
Well, as always, things are humming along with respects to the games themselves. So Thomas Bach, as you guys know, is the IOC president. His attempts to win over a reluctant host for the Tokyo 2020 Games got off to something of an embarrassing start today when the president of the IOC referred to the people of Japan as Chinese. Yeah. In his first public comment since arriving in Tokyo last week, Bach attempted to reassure the public that the Games would not become a coronavirus super spreader event. So Bach said at the start of a meeting with head of Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee Seiko Hashimoto and its chief executive Toshihiro Muto, our common target is safe and secure games for everybody, for the athletes, for all the delegations, and most importantly, for the Japanese people, is what he said. Now the gaffe was not repeated by the English to Japanese interpreters at the meeting, but reports by Japanese media did trigger something of a backlash on social media. Now, Bach said that the games were the best ever prepared despite the myriad of logistical challenges posed by the pandemic. He continued, the Japanese people can have confidence in all the efforts that we are undertaking to make these games for them safe and secure with the most intensive and most strict COVID-19 countermeasures, adding, you have managed to make Tokyo the best ever prepared city for the Olympic Games. This is even more remarkable under the difficult circumstances that we all have to face. Now that it's just 10 days to go till the opening ceremony, that also means that we still have a lot of work to do. Now, Bach, who was until recently quarantining at his hotel, is likely to hold a meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga on Wednesday and then to visit Hiroshima by the end of the week. Now, Bach and other senior IOC officials have drawn criticism for insisting that the postponed games will open on the 23rd, despite rising infections and warnings by medical experts that the arrival of tens of thousands of athletes, sponsors, reporters, and other officials could trigger a new wave of infections. Although, to be perfectly fair, most of these people are already in Tokyo at this point, as we're only 10 days away. So whoever's there is there now, for the most part. Tokyo did enter a fourth state of emergency just back on Monday and is subject to measures that include an unpopular ban on serving alcohol at bars and restaurants, which also must close by 8 p.m. Any establishments, refusing to comply are going to get fined. Restrictions are going to stay in place right through the 22nd of August, or right into the middle of the Paralympic Games, which is, a full 2 weeks after the regular Olympics have ended, and have sparked anger among businesses that say that they are struggling to survive. Bach himself arrived last Thursday on the same day the organizers announced the ban on domestic spectators at almost all Olympic venues, reversing an earlier decision to allow a limited number of people to watch live sport. Officials at this point are asking people to watch the games on TV in order to limit opportunities for the virus to spread via people traveling to and from Olympic venues. So hopefully, again, just about everybody is already in country who's going to be in country at this point in time, especially when we're talking in terms of the athletes themselves. They need time to acclimatize. Most are doing local training camps. So whoever's there is there. So hopefully this is the last that we're going to be seeing of any more tightening of restrictions and things like that being placed in and around the Tokyo area or on the athletes and other accredited people in general. I don't know how much more they can really take away from these people, if I'm being perfectly honest. But as the story continues to unfold, as we get closer, this our 10-day countdowns on here. As we get closer to the games, we'll, of course, keep you guys updated with any changes that continue on. Moving along, though, into our next story today. Former super middleweight world champion James DeGale has revealed on that his Olympic gold medal and his MBE were stolen from his parents' house on Sunday night. For those of you on this side of the pond, the most excellent order of the British Empire is a British Order of Chivalry, rewarding contributions to the arts, science, sport, work with charitable or welfare organizations, and public service outside of the civil service. It's been around about 100 years, was established by King George V, and comprises 5 classes of across both civil and military divisions. Now, the most senior two of those, top five, would make the recipient a knight if male or a dame if female. So being knighted, that's what they're talking about. Now, the MBE, or Member of the British Empire, is the most junior level of that order, but, you still, received from the Queen, and there's nothing to turn your nose up at. But according to De Gale, the crime took place during England's Euro 2020 defeat to Italy. Not to rub that in a second time for you, Graham.
Thanks.
Now, the British boxer, De Gale, did win, brought home gold medal from Beijing in 2008. Now, there was some video footage that showed the alleged burglar entering the home of De Gale's parents. What De Gale says here is, "My parents' house was burgled last night whilst our boys were trying to bring it home. He took two of my prized possessions, my Olympic gold medal and my MBE. They're worthless to anyone other than me, but they are two achievements that I prize from my boxing career." Adding, "I am gutted and I need my medals back. Can anyone help by reporting any information you have? Please share far and wide." And that's what we're doing right now. Anyone who does have information on that one, reach out to, I guess it would be the Met for that one, but or Scotland Yard. The 35-year-old boxer retired in February 2019 after losing a 12-round unanimous decision to Chris Eubank Jr. at the O2 Arena. During his pro run, he captured the IBF super middleweight title on two separate occasions. He won the title first time in 2015 with a 12-round decision over Andre Durrell. He then lost the belt to Caleb Truax in a huge upset in 2017, but reclaimed the belt in their rematch the following year. Ultimately, before he retired, he piled up a career record of 25-3-1, bringing home 15 of that 25 by way of knockout. So hopefully he gets back, obviously his MBE and also his medal from Beijing. Those are two both, irreplaceable items that have no real intrinsic in value as far as no monetary value on a black market, so to speak, but are irreplaceable. So hopefully he gets his hands on those. Moving along, though, we introduced you yesterday to a couple of fighters that are going to be headed to Tokyo for Canada. We met Madeline Theobald, and we met Wyatt Sanford yesterday. So today we're meeting two more. We've got Carolyn Vieira to start off with. Now, Carolyn started boxing at the age of 18 as a way to stay in shape and to learn self-defense. She herself has a degree in translation, enjoys reading, watching TV, movies, and playing board games. Now, she immigrated to Canada in 2003 after visiting the country a few years earlier with her mother, who was in Montreal for medical treatments. She fell in love with the people and the culture and decided to stay. Her favorite motto is, "It's difficult to beat someone that never quits." Now, that is inspired and comes by way of Floyd Mayweather Jr., if it sounds familiar. And she likes Floyd because she says that he is the only boxer that she finds beautiful to watch technically. He masters what he does to perfection, according to her. Now, at her very first Canadian championship in 2019, Carolyn found herself on the podium with a bronze medal. By 2012, she had moved up to claim silver. In 2013, she won the first of her two straight national titles. It was also in 2013 that she made her debut at the American Women's Continental Championships and took home a bronze medal from that contest. As a result, that's a result that she would repeat in 2014 when she also competed at her first AIBA Women's World Championships. Now, after winning gold at the qualifying tournament for the 2015 Pan Am Games, she captured the 60-kilogram gold at Toronto in 2015 in front of the hometown fans. In 2016, Vieira suffered a shoulder injury, which prevented her from qualifying for the Olympic Games in Rio. Upon her return, she did take home silver, though, at the 2017 Continental Championships. In 2018, she reached the 60-kilogram quarterfinals at the Commonwealth Games and the AIBA World Championships, the latter year being a career highlight. Moving on, though, we're also meeting today Miriam De Silva. So she spent most of her early life playing soccer as opposed to boxing, but her dreams of making the national women's team were cut short due to injuries. So she ended up taking up boxing at university as a means of keeping fit and made her in-ring debut 6 months after signing up for competitive training at the age of 23. So a bit of a late starter here. Now, she was attracted to the sport's intensity initially. She has a bachelor's degree in special education from UQAM, that's Université de Quebec Montréal, for those of you who don't know, and teaches full-time around her boxing schedule and dedicates her free time to helping kids and people with special needs, whether that's helping with homework or introducing them to sport. She tries to bring home something stereotypical from each country that she competes in. Usually that looks like junk food that she's able to enjoy later when she's home and no longer on a strict diet and training regime immediately following competitions. She was given the nickname Godzilla because of her intense facial expressions while in the ring. And her favorite quote comes to us via Maya Angelou here, and it's not our goals that unite us, but our pursuit of achieving them. If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. So just a few months after she joined the national team, Miriam De Silva won the 69-kilogram gold at the 2012 America's Continental Championships in Cornwall, Ontario. Later that year, she made her debut at the AIBA World Championships. In 2014, she was a silver medalist at the Continental Championships and made her second World Championship appearance. In 2015, De Silva underwent surgery for carpal tunnel syndrome in her right hand. The following year, she broke the thumb on the same hand, and as such, she dropped in the world rankings and was unable to compete at the World Championships that year. After rehab, she finished second at the Canadian Championships and was, unfortunately, though, not selected for the 2018 Commonwealth Games team. De Silva did regain her national title in 2018 and made the quarterfinals for the first time at the World Championships. She was selected to compete in her first international multisport competition, which was the Lima 2019 Pan Am Games, where she took home the 69-kilogram silver medal. So 2 more boxers that are going to be fighting for Canada that you guys should be knowing, about, and you'll be looking forward to seeing. And that pretty much profiles our entire team, with the notable exception and most recently named to the team officially, Mandy Bujold. But you guys already know a bunch about her, but we will definitely give you a bit more background on her as we get a little bit closer to the games as well. But that's taking a look around the rings today, Graham. That's what we've got.
Yeah, it's great to see that the majority of our boxing contingent is female. It says a lot about the sport. It says a lot about our programs, that they can only improve and get better. I got to hand to you and to all the athletes out there that are preparing for these games that are now less than 10 days away. Just when I hear about the regimen these men and women are going through day after day after day, and what they're having to sacrifice, it speaks volumes. Yes, COVID.
Well, even in a country with a program as thoroughly developed as our program here in Canada, we're still hearing some of our athletes still have full-time jobs. You just heard Miriam De Silva teaches full-time around her training and boxing schedule. So see, these are incredible human beings on multiple levels here.
Yeah, and we just so our viewership around the world know this, in Canada, those athletes have to train. They have to literally move to Montreal and train in Montreal. So it's a big sacrifice to be able to do that and succeed at an international level.
I believe Miriam is based in Montreal. When she first emigrated to Canada, that is where they landed, was Montreal. So, but just Wyatt Sanford, who we talked about yesterday, is from Nova Scotia originally, and he picked up in 2017 and moved his entire life to Montreal in order to train with the national team. Right. And he's not the only one. Mandy's from Kitchener, which is just down the road from here, 45 minutes or so, and Montreal's a 6-hour drive from here.
Right. Anyway, good stuff. I'm looking forward to the video content that is being sent our way. I'm sure it is boxing related, and I'm sure it has something to do with the Olympics, possibly a gold medal winner at the Olympics. I'm not sure, but
I have a sneaking suspicion who it's going to be about. Yeah.
Looking forward to it, and looking forward to tomorrow's episode as well. Thanks very much, Christian, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you then.